SupaTea podcast show. I love this feature here where I can release a bit and ventilate a bit and don't have to necessarily show my face. As much as I love to write, as much as on my heart and my mind right now, it would be a whole novel and my fingers would ache if I was to put it to paper. However, I've been doing one of the things I do a lot, which is self reflect. But somehow I ended up looking at photos and posts from over 10 years ago when I first started my personal journey into spirituality. And it is still a very personal journey for me. However, whew, with all of the twists and the turns that I've experienced during the process, and to be where I am now, sometimes I still question. Sometimes I still, even though I know the difference of a yes and I know the difference of a no, sometimes I still question. And I made a post of compiling the old pictures, and I realized that here I am. Ironically, a lot of stuff has happened, and a lot of stuff is happening as we are approaching the actual new year. Um, I the ancestors are doing some astounding things, things I don't really even totally grasp, but it feels so great at the same time. I had just finished uh, watching a movie called Girl Friendship with one of the twins, Tia and Tamara. I don't know which one it was. Knowing them, it probably was both of them interchanging in the role. And in this movie, they went to Gullah Geechee Island, and I feel like my paternal grandfather's side is connected to that group of indigenous people. I know where my maternal side came from, the actual Nile. You don't know what the actual Nile is, then, it ain't none of your business. The actual Nile is where my maternal grandmother is from. My paternal grand, on my paternal grandfather's side, well, my grandfather, basically. My grandfather, I believe, is tied to those people. Um, and the reason why I feel this way is because of the familiarity. Um, Now, it's possible that my grandma was not the first one to migrate up north, but it seems as if the people on those islands called to me, and I really just feel that that's just another part of my ancestry, um, and the feeling is strong. When I say it's strong, it's strong. I remember when I first um, became aware, uh, and just how it resonates. It's hard to put into words. But every time I think of and I've mentioned this before, of quote unquote retirement, whatever that is, because I just feel like I'm going to be working, but not working for anyone, but just, you know, I feel like I'm going to continuously evolve, you know. So even when I am riper, you know, even, and I know that that means for me, especially on the path I'm on right now, that it's going to mean feeling more youthful, moving more youthful. But I love space and I love being in nature and even traveling in metropolitan cities and going to parks. It's a commune. It's a communion that happens between me and nature. There's communications, and I just would love to just I love to just to feel what it would be like to actually have a residence in a space like that. Now, I like the modern stuff. I like electricity. I like to be able to control the temperature. I don't like bugs. I have nothing against them. I just feel like they need to be in their home and I need to be in my home and we can cohabitate and not, you know, be roommates, but be neighbors, you know. Um, and so yeah, the first of all, the timeliness of that popping up was divine. And then the the things that stuck out, you know, the referencing of the ancestors, having the actual chiefess. I think I'm saying the terminology right, but having her actually in the movie itself, you know, seeing the islands, almost like hearing the trees, and I know it's gonna sound weird to some folks, to some it won't, but just almost hearing the trees through the film itself, you know, and just wanting to go and commune with the ancestors and know that that is something that I am able to do, you know, and I think that's a great thing to do. And it's something I've already done, honestly. It doesn't feel like a new adventure. A new adventure feels like, I don't know, going to like Spain or something. That feels like a new adventure. That doesn't feel like a new nothing. That feels like, it feels very familiar. And even when I read their language, it's like I can understand it. And it blows my freaking mind. Um, but I can understand it. But it sounds like my Aunt Mamie. It sounds and feels like her, you know. And I don't know if she ever dwelled on any of those islands. You know, the stories that I hear was that that side was definitely always free. Um, they were never enslaved. They were free and they were very territorial and very defensive over their dwellings. You know, I know she had a bunch of brothers, one being my um, grandfather. And Mamie, though, was my grandfather's sister, and um, she don't be playing. She definitely don't be playing. Um, and she's come up quite a bit recently. She's one of my ancestors that helped me get free from that first marriage of mine. I remember when she transitioned, she literally like came and got me. Like literally. Like I will never forget that experience with a daggone power box outside of my at that time residence in Pennsylvania literally exploding. And I just instinctively knew it's time to go. And I had somewhere to go to. Now, again, I was in my 20s when that experience happened, so I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to stay in that space. I thought that that was a space I was supposed to stay in, and I didn't receive all of the other directions right away at that point in time. But that was then. And here now, I am absolutely smitten. And I remember, well, I not even remember, I cataloged when I first became smitten and all of, and the challenges that were in the midst of me being smitten. And now those challenges are like not there anymore, pretty much, you know. Um, and now I'm just like, hmm, okay, you know, just, I don't know, and just grateful, just grateful. And, you know, the, the confirmations are astounding. Um, Yesterday was a perfect example. Yesterday, I had an interaction um, with the person I'm smitten by, and you know, it was good. 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 And then there were other individuals around who were not happy with the interactions for whatever reasons, and I chuckled at it um, out loud and also internally because I know that it has nothing to do with me. I know it has nothing to do with the person that I'm smitten by, but it was just interesting because I can't relate, you know, and it's like I wish they knew better, you know, but I chuckled it off and I kept it pushing. And then as I got into my gym and went to pay on my bill, I interacted with a young lady, and you know, it's just baby. But people don't realize that I am the age that I am. A lot of people feel that I'm younger than what I am, especially if I'm like not with my son. And even if I'm with my son, they're like, "That's your son." And it's like, yeah, I pushed this human being out of me. I'm old. I'm his mother, and old enough to be your mama, and old enough to be your mama. And sometimes I have to remind people, like, I am old enough to be your mother. So get in line, because she tried to address me by my first name and jack it up. Uh, 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 Miss Bay. Miss Bay. Well, we're seeing yada, 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 yada. They was basically trying to solicit money from 3 years ago when I was a member at this particular gym. And I'm like, come on now. You talk, and I didn't say this to her, but I just let her know, listen, the business have already recovered this money and written it off. So cancel it out and let's keep it moving. And she was like, well, that's not how it works. And they try to like micromanage me. And I was like, yeah, I'm about to have a seat and wait to talk to the manager. And everything got handled properly. As I knew, talking with the manager, things do get handled properly. I don't know, well, I do get it. I get it. Employees are not privy to the same information that managers are privy to. And managers, of course, you know, it's just better for me always communicating with somebody who actually knows more of the executive functions of a business versus just checking a person in and, you know, the lower level stuff. And I have no issues with people who are at those stations. It's just when there's a conflict or a challenge, sometimes it's tricky resolving it with them because they really are not, you don't have the information and the skill set sometimes to actually address an issue efficiently. They just repeat what they have been told. And I get that, and I don't hold that against them. But as a patron of a company, I'm looking to have a resolution, you know? So, anywho, that's not what was the confirming thing for me. The confirmation for me was as I was waiting to speak with the manager, there was a bus driver, a young bus driver, a young redhead bus driver who was coming in there to see her boo thing, who and her boo thing is an employee there. And so I got to see them interact with each other, and they were having conversations about how the manager acts a certain way when she comes to visit her boo thing. And so I just got to see these young people say these things about their own personal interactions and other people's uh, behaviors and responses to them and their thing. And it was just like, for me, it almost felt like the universe mirroring exactly my experiences through the experiences of some other folks. And it was just, I was just like, okay, it just kept me, kept me there in this space. And the smitten space. And then today, um, I felt all the results from my work at the gym, which was not a great feelings. And that was coupled with some frustrations because I thought I had the right tools to hang up my curtains. And I was very excited about, doing this housework. And then I got frustrated because uh, my legs was aching already yesterday, and then I didn't have the right tools. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna get my grown son to come do this. But then my spirit was like, no, this is something like you need to do. Like, you can do this. You just need the right tools. And then today I got up and whew, the legs were the legs were legging, they were repairing themselves. And just now, and it is, what time is it? It is 10 o'clock at night. Just 10 o'clock at night, I feel some type of relief. Um, I had to literally rest all day and hydrate and get protein in my body, so my body has all the tools that it needs to rebuild these muscles, and then mentally prepare myself for tomorrow and just accept the fact that I'm getting everything done as I get everything done, and not like stress myself about it. But it's weird, it's like I feel this, I feel this presence. This is the best way to describe it. And it's a unique presence. And, at times my logic is like, wants to tell me that I shouldn't enjoy this. But my spirit is like, oh, heck yeah, you better enjoy this. And this is a mutual enjoyment that's going on. And just don't stress, don't stress. It's all right. Like, this is bigger than just me as an individual um feeling the way I feel. There is a purpose, and there is a reason for this union that is. And I just have to accept it and on rely on divinity. Rely on divinity to work out the particulars. I'm not here to work out the particulars. That's not my purpose. My purpose is just to put my best foot forward, be authentic, be genuine, and just embrace and accept what is. And so that's what I'm doing. And again, I'm cataloging it along the way, um, because I feel that this will be helpful to my son. This will be helpful to my grandchildren. I'm not totally sure whether I'm going to carry again. At one point, I was very adamant about it. Now I'm like, especially now as I'm getting my body back together, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to share it with another growing human being. Then push that. I love the babies. I do, but I don't know if I want to actually carry again. Um, but still, for all of those to come and to listen and to hear and to, get the confirmations that they may be needing in their lives. Like, oh, you know what? I'm experiencing something similar. You know, time is a man construct. I have no clue when that movie that I literally just watched um, was filmed or released. I didn't even know it existed. It literally just popped up on my what you call it, and um, it was so applicable to just everything. There were so many different messages, if I should say. One that was there from the beginning all the way to the end almost. Um, was on a chalkboard inside of the office. Tio Tamara character was inside of a executive office, actually mahogany, and I think mahogany is what you call it of Hallmark. So that was genius. Whoever did that was genius because mahogany is actually one a part of Hallmark. Um, and but they brought it to life pretty much, or gave us a little peep into their actual corporate dealings, and it was just good. It was just good. But okay, on the chalkboard was written, "Ancestors are moving mountains for you to rise," and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! That statement in of itself. Ancestors are moving mountains for you to rise. It's like confirmation for me to not stress any details at all, to be present, to do my work, to enjoy, um, and go forward. Go forward. Go forward and know that number one, I was never going forward alone. This, like, the whole time. I may have not seen the people I wanted to see present, such as my birth mother, such as my birth father, such as having any siblings. Those things, those physical um, people were not present. However, there always were my ancestors there covering me. This sister, I forgot her name, but I saw her talking on social media about how she's decided to change her life and how she was trafficked as a young lady. And like, if my ancestors were not protecting me, that could have been me. There were incidences that I'm not really at the point where I would share those things. But there were incidences where, you know, um, I know, like the shield that I had up against men, and particularly, these shields didn't come from nowhere. These shields came from my interactions and them not caring that I was a child, them only caring to satisfy their lower selves, and me being a child, not even realizing that that's what was going on. Just thinking that this was a cultural norm. And unfortunately, in urban areas, when there is not a father, these guys, they're wounded. They're wounded. They're not matured. They're not healed. They're traumatized, and they exercise their physical superiority over young ladies, young girls who don't know any better, and it ain't right. And I'm glad that that young lady, well, now she's an adult, but I'm glad this lady is has decided to take back charge of herself and to stand up. And I commend her for her courage. And I want to work with her. I want to work with her because I recognize um, and see her. And she talked about so many different things, how even people within our community, educated people in our community, they really don't want to work with her because she doesn't have what they have as far as education and as far as, I guess, the way she speaks, her etiquette, and things of that sort. And that's an unfortunate thing. You know what I mean? Um, and I get it because some people have never had to experience that, so they don't understand where she's coming from and what she's had to deal with. They feel like, oh, she just chose to go into pornography because that's ultimately what she decided to do. But she didn't make that choice. She was trafficked. She was trafficked. She was pimped. She went through all of that stuff, and like I seen that stuff again, and my ancestors protected me from going far down those roads, but those people, those men, they didn't care. They didn't care, and unfortunately, um, I see them now. Those same type of mindsets where they don't care. You know, they don't care. They see an ass, they see a body, and they don't know how to really control themselves if they haven't healed. They out there, and I would like to see people get better. I would like to see adults just be with adults. Just be with adults. There's so many different types of adults, but when it comes to sex, that's a consensual thing. That should not be something that an older person is an adult, any type of adult. I don't care if it's an older adult, young adult. No adult should be imposing any type of sexual contact with a child. Period. 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 And we need to discuss those things and stop having those things happen within our own neighborhoods. Yes, it's disgusting, the Epstein files and all of that, but it's disgusting in the urban neighborhoods as well. It's disgusting, period, for an adult, man or female, because there are female predators too, to sexually subjugate a child. It's disgusting, period, in every community across the board. And those things need to stop, period. So yeah, I would like to work with that lady. I don't know if that's something she's open to, because she's still healing, and it's unfortunate that in her healing process, she even came out and said that she tried to unalive herself over 50 times. 50, not 15, 50. And I'm like, girl, you are here for a reason. Like, you don't understand it completely, but you're here for a reason. And the fact that she's talking about her experiences is more evidence of, because she can save and help so many girls. Like, this girl needs to be educated. Y'all need to travel in groups. You need to travel in groups. You need to get your own stuff so you're not looking for nobody, and nobody's not going to use you or use your body to give you basic stuff that you need, like food or clothing. And even if your parents are not there, like, you gotta unfortunately um, educate them and teach them self sufficiency very young, and teach them what to look out for, and all of those things, because these guys are clever. They do all type of stuff. And again, I say guys because it seems like that's what the majority, but there unfortunately are women who are predators too. And a predator is a predator, and they are very crafty with their predatory things. And the young people need to be educated on how to protect themselves, and I feel like that's happening. But I feel like it needs to expand. Definitely needs to expand. There need to be more safe spaces for them to come into and to be into, because motherfuckers be out there on a hunt, and it's disgusting. Some of them never ever grow out of that thing. That predatory state of mind. And many times I saw another person talk. This person, God, I thought I remember his name. I forgot his name. But he's a guy out in California who is a transgender. And his story, he's another person that wouldn't say I want to work with him, but I definitely want to see him heal. And if I could be positioned to support that healing process for him, that would be a beautiful thing. Because that man told a bit of his story online, and how his own father, his own biological father, was not only molesting him, but introduced him to crack cocaine. His biological father, not his stepfather, not his mother's boyfriend, his own biological father. And the mother also was involved with the drug use. She didn't know about the sexual abuse. And when he told his mother about the sexual abuse, the mother blew the father's head off. Literally. Like, she blew his brains out. Literally. But it did not stop the harm that was already done. It did not address the drug abuse. They continued to do drugs, and this man, he looks like, I don't know, he could be in his 50s, and he's just out there in the streets, and he's like, he wants to stop. He doesn't want to continue, but he doesn't know how to. And that's a whole nother issue. Somehow this conversation has segued into people, who want to heal, and people who want to be better. And the 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 mainstream therapies and churches and things are not giving them the support, or I wouldn't say not giving the support, but not providing the actual truth. Because actual truth is that lady that I had mentioned, that's no longer a porn star, this man that is a transgender, that is out on the streets right now in California somewhere. Both of those individuals, believe it or not, has God inside of them. And that is the message that they need to hear. That is the message that they need to remember, because they are literally going to be the ones, Yes, there may be people that offer support, safe havens, all of that is possible, but they're going to be the ones to rescue and rejuvenate themselves. Like there's work for them to do, each of those. And those are just two individuals. There's so many people out there. And every person has divinity within them. So I know the fact that I am aware of this truth is because there's a greater purpose. And even though I chuckled at the young lady, I also have some concern for her because I know her animosity towards a stranger, because it's basically what's happening here. Let's be factual. We don't know each other personally. There's no reason for her to really have an issue with me personally. It's a reflection of how she's feeling inside. And I have been in a similar space where I have felt insecure within myself. And, it has shown in how I may have felt about another person's interaction. However, when I looked at myself and self reflected and addressed my own personal insecurities, all of that stuff flew out the window. It's like I don't feel the same way anymore. So for her to continue to, because she's, oof, 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 oof. If I was somebody else, if I was weak minded and, again, had deep insecurities myself, um, I would, I would avoid any type of interaction because she definitely just projects her inferiority onto folks, and it's like do something about that. Do something about that. Do something about that. Invest in yourself. Heal. I don't know what her personal life is like, but um, I hope she heals because there are people who may not be as strong as me that she is discouraging from a safe space, and that ain't right. That ain't right, and I feel a way about that. And I feel like people that are engaged in safe spaces for individuals, that those people should be healed and whole within themselves, period. And even if they are healing, that's okay, but do the work, do your own personal work so that when you are interacting with other individuals, you're not projecting that trauma onto them because it's good possibility that these people may be wounded themselves. And the ideal is for people to be healthy and to be healed and to be whole. And we know that this is a process. However, there's work that is required within the process. And these are my thoughts on just me just letting them go, just letting my thoughts go and flow. These are my in depth thoughts that I am simply releasing. And back to my spittenness. I'm grateful. I'm grateful, 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 grateful. Um, being more patient with my own personal process of my legs healing and restoring and regaining the mobility that I've had many, 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 many moons ago. And I'm excited and I'm nervous about it, and a lot of good things are happening. And I know this is a great time and year for all of those wonderful things. They say it's the year of the horse. which means it's a whole brand new cycle. And I recognize that and I feel that. And I got a whole bunch of new stuff. That's all I'm going to say is I got a whole bunch of new stuff. And I'm looking forward to modeling that stuff. And I'm looking forward to the steady improvements with my legs. And I'm looking just forward to all of the goodness coming to fruition and sharing, um, sharing from my overflow to serve how I am divinely purposed to be of service and know that although my ancestors are always with me, always have been with me, now I get to actually have folks who are on that same wavelength. Um, and that's a wonderful thing. Pretty much my tribe of folks. I appreciate my tribe of folks. And I know that they are grateful for me as well. I know it's mutual gratitude both ways, great ebb and flow. And I just want to say thank you and happy, happy New Year to be. So it was like pretty much in the energy of the new year. Pretty much, pretty freaking much. And I'm celebrating and I'm looking forward to seeing more of my kin folks. When I say my kin folks, I mean my soul kin folks. Already see, well, there's one sister. Sister just is such a kinfolk. She's such a kinfolk. When I say she's such a kinfolk, sometimes when she's talking, I just be like, is this lady reading my mind? And it's not that she's reading my mind. She's all the way on the West Coast, but it's that she's in tune to the divine. And so the things that she's expressing on social media and the things she's just expressing in general, it just be just straight up, just straight up. And I'm so happy for her. She is in her sacred union, and I celebrate. I celebrate unions. I celebrate Lunel and I'll be like you can feel it. Maybe everybody else can. Maybe people who are not deeply connected with their own divinity cannot feel what authentic, real love feels like, but I can feel it. I can feel the authenticity between Lunel and Albie Shore, and I've never met either one in the flesh as of today. Like I haven't, but I can feel it. I can feel Alicia Keys in Swiss Beats. I felt that. Like it wasn't like, oh, this is something superficial. I've seen the superficial. My good brother Billy Carson and that I don't know what she was, Filipino, whatever she was, that was superficial. And I felt that being superficial. And there was nothing for me to say because again, these are individuals that I haven't physically met as of yet, physically in this particular incarnation. But when he put up there, like, it's done, and I was like, okay. And I felt like where he is now, yeah, there's some authenticity there. There's some real love there. Now, yes, real love still means that there's work, still means that there's effort, still means that there's growth, still means that there's evolution. Real love doesn't mean, oh, everything is easy and everything is peachy and there is no challenges. No. But when there is real love, there are challenges that may come up. They are worked through all the freaking time. And people do sometimes grow and evolve in different directions. And that is okay. That doesn't mean that it's not real. It doesn't mean that it's not authentic. It just is what it is. Every person has a choice in how they are individually growing And even within a partnership, there's still individuals that agree to be in a partnership. And if the individuals that agree to be in a partnership are not growing in the same direction as mature adults, there has to be adjustments. There has to be adjustments. It doesn't matter what agreement was made. And this is something that indigenous people have been, this is part of the tradition of indigenous people. Every 7 years, there's supposed to be a readjustment of whatever vows, whatever agreements were agreed to between two people. So I love to see the longevity, but I want to see the healthy longevity of relationships, of real love based in core relationships. For that longevity to be healthy, there needs to be conversations. There needs to be communications. It can't be like that, like this whole death to we part. I would never ever say that in a vow of partnership ever, ever again. Caught me one time slipping, going, and I would never ever go and involve the state. The state doesn't need to be involved in my sacred union. It ain't none of y'all business. I'm not going to get no license. And it's ironic because I am ordained to perform weddings. However, like I said, for me personally, I ain't doing that. I ain't going to get no license from no state and involve no state unless that is something later on that's going to be, yeah, no, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Our sacred vows is our sacred vows. And yeah, I did that one time, spoke those words, not even realizing what those words meant. Sickness and I no 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 no. Mm-mm. Richer or poor? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Those are no 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 no. Mm-mm. Throw it all away. Throw all those vows away. It's a trap. It's a whole freaking trap. And depending on who you is, and you say that out your mouth over your life, I said those words before a justice of peace in New York City with my baby girl in my stomach with no clue. But what I did see was, first of all, there was no love. There was no love in the person's eyes that was, I guess, uh, gaining me in that particular instance. There was no love in their eyes. There was no love in this justice of peace eyes. Like I seen it, but I was too young to articulate even what I saw. And the ancestors were trying to pull me out of here, but we got free will. We fought that very day. And even my ex husband's biological sister tried to keep me from making that choice. But I wish you would have tried harder. That's what I gotta say about that. I wish you would have tried harder. Because I would have been like, just don't do it. Not, well, maybe you shouldn't do it because, he stole from me. Like, you ain't telling me no real reason, ma'am. Well, we didn't know whether you was down with him. You didn't know. Oh, hell no. You could tell. You could tell. If you can't tell who's who and what's what, you got a whole baby girl the same age as me, shoot, you ain't paying attention. You ain't being honest with yourself. Thank you for attempting to save me, but you didn't give me no real information. You should have told me the real deal, holy deal. You know, he do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, young lady. Now, I don't know if that's what you doing. That's what he doing. That would have been an instant wake up call. But telling me he swiped something, it's like, okay. Like, I'm from the hood, man. There be a lot of swiping happening in the hood. Why did he swipe something? What's going on? I need more details. And I should have probably asked for more details. But anyway, live and learn. And I have lived a lot and learned a lot so far. So even though I look young in the face sometimes, no. Even though I'm vibrant, uh, definitely have some wisdom, and I'm happy to share it here on my platform and to express myself freely and transparently here on my platform. And again, even it's a duality. So the duality of me sharing what I do choose to share is an opportunity for me to release, for me to catalog, so that I could come back and I could revisit. Because, baby, wait before I tell you what the other part is. I guess it goes more. Um, but, baby, I cataloged some stuff the last year. And one of the things, well, two of the things were not published. They were like put into links. I don't know whether I sent that link or not. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I don't think I did, but I definitely made it. I made it directed. I made that video directed. I'm so glad I couldn't publish it. Like, now I've been in some shorts, and I've taken some risque pictures. I have. It is not culturally frowned upon as it used to be. So it's something. But I don't, this one was like, what? I'll see that shit. That energy hit me. I was like, oh, Cara, you, what's going on there? I was in the zone, auto zone. No, I was showing all my smittenness. I was showing all my smittenness and the cameras, and I probably will share it eventually. But anywho's, just it reminded me. It reminded me, and not only did it remind me, because obviously I'm still smitten, but the smittenness has evolved in, I guess, experiencing the smittenness evolving is like, like, oh, this is not a passing thing. This is not a um I mean, it could very well be a chapter. Okay, because here's the thing. I was smitten once before. I was smitten once before. Once before I was smitten for a whole decade. And one thing I learned from the whole decade of smittenness of beforeness was that I will not be smitten for a whole decade again. Just, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Gosh, I can't think of it. Unrequited? Is it unrequited? I don't know if it's unrequited. It might be unrequited. But yeah, I was one sided smitten before. I was one sided smitten. And I think that smittenness evolved eventually, but by the time it evolved, I was over it. Like a whole decade. Sir, And then you still got these stipulations because you chose to go a direction in your life. That was your choice. Oh, there's conditions. Oh no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It don't mean that there's any love loss. There is definitely not no love loss, but the love has evolved because now it is not me unhealed and traumatized loving someone and being loyal to someone. It is me healed and me being loyal to me. And sir, I wish you the best. I hope you find true love. You know, like there's billions of people on the planet. So if it does not work, if the partnership is not working, then as an adults, hello, let's go forward. Don't force something to work that ain't working. If it's gonna work, it's because both people is choosing for it to work. And I don't think people choose. I don't know. Some people do force things. I ain't forcing shit though. I ain't forcing shit. I don't mind working together on something with somebody else, but I'm not about to force it. We not gonna do this just because I want to do this. We not gonna do this just because you want to do this. If we're doing anything, number one, it has to be healthy for each of us. It gotta be healthy for you. It gotta be healthy for me. Our choices need to be made based on health, mentally, physically, and spiritually, boo. If those things ain't aligning, then we need to have conversations. What's going on? What's happening? What's this about? You know, so that was my whole that decade of smittenness release. I wish you the best, much success. Mm-mm. And in the midst of me releasing, lo and behold, I just had no clue. I had no clue. I mean, I did know, because there's billions of people on the planet that it was possible for me to become smitten again. But this smittenness right here, right here, I'm like, wait a minute. And here's the irony. There's an irony to this smittenness, which sometimes, has my logical mind like, what's going on? What's going on here? What's happening? Do you know that both of those people, the smitten from the decade smittenness and the new smittenness, do you know? Y'all don't know, but I'm about to put it out there that they are born on the same exact day. Almost threw me out. I was just like, oh, I'm done. I'm cooked. I give up. I give all the way whatever. Okay, God. If that ain't a message, like I don't even know what the message is. What is the message? Is there a third one that's gonna have to say? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that the one person that I am forever at smitten with that eternally is me. I'm eternally smitten with myself. And yes, that does not, well, okay, my words is all jumbled up. Uh, I'm eternally smitten with myself. And in my choice, my free will choice to go into a union with somebody who is exercising their own free will choice to join in a union with me, they must be smitten with themselves too. They must be smitten with themselves. As and then our smittenness with each other is all the better. It's all healthier. It's just that's just the way it makes sense to me for it to really, really just work. because that's the whole purpose. Like, the purpose of the sharing and the smittenness is, for it to be good for us, not just in the union, but also individually, because it's individuals that choose to agree to form a union together, period. I think my words just got clear and clarified. So, yeah, I definitely learned something that decade, and I appreciate that experience because it taught me, and I kind of want to say it prepared me. I don't, nothing could prepare me for this surprisement in this because it still is like, I still remember like all of the details, like la 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 la, wow, what's that? And then just like looking in the mirror. That's how it felt. It felt like looking in the mirror. Now, initially, it didn't feel like it felt like looking in the mirror because it was just like, that looks like me. It feels like me. Did I do this? Because it felt like I did this, but I wasn't here to do this. So, how did this? What is going on? And I was just like, oh, okay. Feels like I did this. I like, it's weird to describe it, but that's how the initial new smittenness was. It was like looking at a version of myself, and then I was just like, okay, I got to go. No, first of all, I didn't say I got to go. I was like, well, what's the details? What's the details here? Because this feels like I did this, and I know I wasn't physically here to do this. So what's going on? And I found out some details, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I need to go far away from here because all right, nice, all right. Looks like I did this stuff and it wasn't me. I don't know why. Feels like I did this stuff and it wasn't me, and it was just like the similarities. It's weird. It's weird. It's so weird. It's just even the things like it's like I first of all, let me just put this out there, okay? I just got my what you call it, my passport. I just got it like a year or so ago. So for me to have acquired the things that I've acquired, they were things that the ancestors lined me up with. That things like I would go into spaces and things would literally like call to me. And so there's certain things I have that call to me. And then this person has the same shit. And I'm like, yo, but they went and got the shit, or somebody gave it to them. I'm like, dude, like, why are you copying me? Like, you don't even recognize. And I just be like, oh, and maybe they do. They probably know. They probably know by now. But initially they didn't. Initially it was just like, oh, pretty lady. Look at that pretty lady right there with the big booty. No, I'm joking. That's not how. That's not anything. That is not how they think. But oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm pretty. They know. They know. Fuck, they know what I have. They don't know. But I guarantee you, because I have shared, because I was just like, I had to share, like, uh, how is this possible? You tell me this is a coincidence that I have never even visited. So one thing I have that, it's an artifact, it's an ancestral artifact that I have, that I had took my son to get some help, somewhere in South Jersey. This is when I had my vehicle. And on my way back from this place, I stopped in a town. And I don't even remember the town. I don't remember the town. I have no clue what the name of the town was. I have no clue where I even purchased, but I had the funds to make this purchase. This item called out to me. I I I purchased it. I have it. This was maybe 2021. Fast forward to 2025. This individual has the same exact thing, just in a different way. I know they make more than one, but it's a unique item. It's not like something that's popular. I've never even seen it before. It called out to me. I seen it the one time it called out to me. I purchased it. I got it. And the second time I seen it was in the possession of this other individual. And I'm just like, okay, okay, okay. And again, that's just one example of the randomness. So there's other stuff. There's other stuff. There's other stuff. Like the same god dang on ancestors here, there. Why? Why would I go into my personal space where I was led by my spirit to put this here? Why would I go in a whole other space? That's over there too. Why? I didn't put that over there. Why is that there too? Like it's strange. It's strange. It freaked me out for a while. I mean now I'm pretty much used to it. It doesn't freak me out no more. You know? I'm just like, okay. I don't know all of the details, but okay. All I can say is okay. When the conversation is had, the conversation is had, and it is what it is, and whatever. At this point, is I'm at a point in my life where, as much as I like to exercise my logical brain, I have I have grown to accept my intuitive side and to just let things mother frickin' be. I would like a full definition sometimes, but I don't get that all the time, and it's okay. It's all right. It is all right. I am going to end this episode now. I'm here like playing in my hair. My legs do finally have some relief. So we're going to get up on the legs and see how it feels when I'm actually standing on them. Resting in this bed. The pain has left. I'm well hydrated myself. Got my magnesium, my creatine. I had two yogurts, and I consume the Greek yogurts, which have 15 grams of protein each. So that was 30 grams of protein right there. Plus, I have a protein shake that I had earlier. That was a 30. So, building these muscles. These muscles got to be built. Oh, I must catalog this accomplishment also of yesterday. So, after the gym, so first of all, let's go before the gym. I walked to the gym, literally singing in the rain. Yeah, smittenness is a whole different type of frequency. That's all I can say. Being smitten is a whole different frequency, okay? It's a different frequency. Yes, I sang in the rain. It was a nice, warm, fresh rain, too. It was like 60 degrees. I had my umbrella, and I was just, I'm in love with the new management. I'm in love with the new management. So I was just a la 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 la. And then as I approached the gym, and it's weird because, like, people really be I don't know how my aura feels to other people, right? I don't know. But I know, like, if I am walking and I see somebody in front of me and we're on the same pathway, like, I'm going to kind of lean away from the motherfucker. Like, I ain't going to get so close that I almost touch a motherfucker. And interesting, I was in Harriet Tubman Park, which is across from my gym. So I was like walking through the park. So many people. And I don't think I was singing out loud in the rain, like loud, loud. I wasn't singing at my top volume. you know? But so many people almost walked into me from behind. I'm like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Why y'all almost walking into me in the goddamn rain? Granted, I get it. You don't want to walk in the mud, but damn. Not a nothing, not a warning, not no, hey, excuse me. I'm not a small lady. I'm damn near taking up the whole goddamn going path. And you motherfuckers is just coming right within centimeters of touching me. That another nobody did touch me, but they were so close. And it was just like that didn't feel weird. Like I don't be getting that close to strangers. Especially it's one thing when it's really, really crowded and you don't got no other space to go to because, it's nowhere else to go. But we're in a whole big ass park, motherfuckers. And I probably would have been more on the edge of the concrete versus getting close to the motherfucker that's walking in the middle of the goddamn going path. Like that's just me personally. But for some reason, as I got closer to the goddamn on gym, singing in the rain, motherfuckers almost walked into my behind from behind. They wasn't coming in the same direction because if I would have seen them, I would have moved. I would have shifted to the left or shifted to the right. But I don't got eyes to the back of my goddamn on head. About three motherfuckers almost walked to me. Any hoots. I walked to the gym, and I want to say, it was about a mile. And I know a mile is not a long walk for a lot of people, but for me, that was a lot. I walked to the gym, get to the gym, worked out. Yeah, I got a chance to rest, so it wasn't like I walked and then went straight to workout. Uh, I rested, interacted with the young couple, got whatever confirmation the universe was giving me with that. Got on my hydro massage chair thingamajiggy, did that. Then went, did my leg reps, because that's where I'm focusing at. I'll be in and out. I'm not coming there to socialize. That's me interacting with the young couple was the most socialization I've done there outside of the older lady who works there. And I was hoping she was the manager, but she wasn't there. But whatever. So I do all of that. Now, after I'm finished, I can go home. I went to go get a pedicure. And my pedicure place is like 3 towns over. So now I gotta travel here. So I'm on the train thing. The train thing is right outside the gym. I'm still happy as fuck. Even though my legs is they're burning. Oh, the legs is burning. The legs ain't feeling too great. And here's the part. We get to the juicy part. The juicy part is that once I took the light rail to the main train station and I took the first elevator up, the second elevator was like, mm-mm. That was again my ancestors because I literally could see the elevator there. But then I also knew the train was coming at 6:17. And when I looked at my phone and saw that it was 6:17 and I looked at those 2 flights of stairs and I was just like, I don't know how, but I'm gonna go for it. And when I walked up the first flight of stairs, and it wasn't even that hard. Okay? It wasn't even that hard. Now, yes, I used my hands. I had my hands on both railings. But with my hands on both railings, like I was able to do one step, next step, instead of like one on one side, bring up the other foot, then use that same side to bring up the same foot. Like I was able to alternate my foots. And when I got to the second flight, I saw the stairs. I mean, I saw the stairs. I saw the train there. And I was like, please hold it for me. Please hold it for me. And I made it up that second flight. And lo and behold, they held it for me. Lo and behold, I got on it. Lo and behold, I made it in to my, what you call it. I did call her before I got there. I was like, what time you close? And she was like, you come. And I was like, it's going to take me a half hour or more. You still come. I got there, my tech was there. I wasn't talking to her, I was talking to the boss of the place. And my tech was tired, but she's a hustler, baby. So, yeah, she did her excellence as she do. I picked out this nice color, and guess what the name of the color was that I picked out? Up. What is it? Up. Walking upward or something like that. I took a picture of it because I was just like, ooh, the messages. The messages. So I had a very physical, active day yesterday. The stairs, the walking, the gym, all of that. All of that. All of that. Which was good because my PT, my transportation did not come through. And then I have PT tomorrow. Oh, God. But anyway, have a great, great night. Thank you for tuning in to the SupaTea podcast show. I do a show every Sunday at 3 p.m. called Soulful Sundays. I don't know what's going on with that, but I think it's going to grow into something phenomenal. And I would love, 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 love to have partnership on that particular show. Um, you know, I'm cool. I've been very good, and consistent with it. But I'm just saying, partnership on Soulful Sundays would grow it and it would be more beneficial to more people. But all of the episodes are published here on my channel. So if you're not able to watch or engage with the show live, you can definitely, definitely, definitely catch a replay of it. And thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Hopefully, then this is the duality of me sharing these vlogs, even though this is technically not a vlog because you can't see me. Um, However, the duality is me cataloging my growth, me having something to share with my lineage, part of my legacy, and also to inspire others to dive deeper within themselves. I've said it more than once, and this is going to be something I continuously say. We all have divinity within us. So, whoever you are, wherever you are listening to this episode, remember the fact that you have divinity. What is divinity, lady? God, Allah, this omnipotent force, life force. It is within you. It is all around you and also within you. So whenever you're seeking answers, go within and ask the question and then pay attention to what you receive and how you feel when you are receiving your answers. And know that you can figure this out, whatever it is, whatever challenges you may have, whatever goals, whatever dreams you may have, you absolutely are able to obtain it no matter where you came from, no matter what your upbringing was. You can achieve whatever you put your mind to and whatever you can see in your mind and feel. There are going to be processes. Trust them, trust your divinity over everything else, and make it your business to commune, to be silent, to silence your mind, to take breaks from technology, to go out into nature and commune with that bigger part of yourself, your own divinity, your own God that's within you. Commune with that force on a daily basis and be grateful for the things you do have and what is working in your life, and focus more there, your attention. than on the nonsense that's happening in the world. Ignore that. You only have control over you. Remember that. Exercise that. And self reflect. Look in the mirror, and not just for vanity, but analyze your thoughts, analyze your feelings. If somebody is annoying you, ask yourself why. Why is somebody else's behavior annoying you? Because you don't got no control over another person's behavior. Why is somebody else's happiness something that you're not comfortable with? If that is something that you are experiencing, you can fix that. You don't have to be like, oh, this is just the way I am. I just don't like this. I just don't like that. Why? Why don't you like this? Why don't you like that? Is this person intentionally doing something to you? If they are not intentionally doing something to you, what is the issue? And even if they are intentionally doing something to you, you can remove yourself from interacting with that individual. And if you do, for whatever reasons, maybe your neighbors or coworkers or whatever, maybe even family members, and you feel you're obligated, create boundaries for yourself. Create boundaries where that person cannot even reach you with their intentional negative vibrations. You have the power to do that. It's all within you, and your own divinity will lead you and guide you in the ways to do exactly that. So, again, thank you for tuning in to the Super Tea podcast show. I wish everybody the best. Ciao now.